the NBPA in the NBA, they have, I guess, been in great communication about how this can all happen. So when they set out this roadmap and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. Okay, we got 24 teams. We have the top 8 in the West, the top 8 in the East, and then 9 through 13 in the West, because they're all within 6 games of that 8th spot to gain a playoff seat in the West, and then only one team in the East that is in the 9th seed, because they're within 6 games to potentially get in there. This is what we'll do. We'll take it to Orlando. They'll play 8 more games. They'll combine with their previous quarantine record, and if the 9 seed's within 4 games of the 8 seed, they'll play for it. If not, those teams are eliminated. 8 from the West, 8 from the East. Let's have an entire tourney down there. It'll be in one location. We'll have 6 games a day or whatever, and we'll have 25, 26 cameras on this thing. We'll do this. And everybody was excited and pumped up about it. And I just assumed that the players were automatically on board for this, because the players had been very positive about it from jump. The players were like, we want to come back, we want to play, as opposed to other sports like the MLB, where the players are like, well, we got some real questions that have to happen. Let's not jump to any conclusions here. The NBA was like, we want to play, we want to make this happen. So now that the timeline has really gotten concrete a little bit more, and the players have been learning about things and how long they could potentially be down in this Orlando Mickey Mouse Biodome, I believe there has been some questions. 2 days ago, 40 to 50 players got on a conference call to air a little bit of their grievances, and I believe it revolves around this. Here's some timetables on the 22 teams in Orlando. Sorry, I said 24. 6 teams eliminated after 35 to 40 days based on play and elimination. 14 total teams will be gone by 53 days at latest. Okay, so the way Woj is spinning that is like 53 days at the latest, right? So Woj is trying to say this isn't that bad. Well, maybe he's not. Maybe he's just giving out his stats there. But 35 to 40 days is how long the teams that are seeded at least 9 through 13 in the West and 9 in the East will have to be staying in Orlando. Now, you remember Damian Lillard came out and said, hey, if I'm not playing for anything down there, I'll go because I'm a part of the team, I'm a good team member, but I'm not playing or anything of that nature, especially if we have no chance. So then they set up this 8 more games to make it feel as if everybody had a chance. But there's some teams, I assume, in the West that understand, like, hey, we do not have a real shot here. And even if we don't, we have to go down here. We're going to be away from our families. We're not going to be able to get out and do any protesting or any talking or speaking or hopefully making this world a better place on the other side of this for at least 35 to 40 days we're down there. That is going to be a tough sell, I'd assume, for some people. Now, granted, if you make it to the finals, it's 82 days that you'll be locked down there. So I would assume that's like LeBron and the boys are assuming, and the Lakers and Milwaukee and all these teams that are potentially favorites in this whole thing. Let's not get crazy, too. Pelicans could get hot with Zion, with whatever Zion's coming out of quarantine with. But 82 days locked down. That's almost 3 months of them being in Orlando away from their families and stuff like that. You can see why the players are like, well, I do believe there's still some things we have to work out. And that's why they're talking about replacement players are potentially getting put on a list for if their players either have to leave, and get quarantined so that they can fill rosters. And I'm okay with potentially being a replacement player. Does that mean I got to go get locked down in Orlando, though, for 82 days potentially? So maybe I'm out. Maybe I don't want to be a replacement player in the NBA. But you can see why the NBA players are like 90 days. We got to be 82 days. We got to go be away from our kids. Now, granted, the NBA schedule is already one that's grueling enough. And the season's going to be starting on the other side of it, too. So that's another NBA season getting in there. I think it's going to – now, granted, they've been home a lot here, which I guess you could just kind of write off and be like, well, you're home now, so maybe just don't be home for a quarter of the year here coming up. It's like, it's just a very interesting thing. I don't know if this thing is close to being done logistically on the back end. So sorry to interrupt. If you're a man watching this, you deserve to have long, great. And you can do that now with our friends at Roman. Right now, you go to GetRoman.com. You get $10 off and free 2-day shipping on Roman swipes, which are guaranteed to make you have longer, more fulfilling every time you get in the sack. Now, let's get back to the fornicating action.
It does kind of suck for them, though, because they were locked down for 3 months with all of us. And then when all of us are going to be able to get out and not be on the lockdown, they're going to be locked down for another 3 months.
Yeah, but they can go over to Germany over there in Epcot or whatever and have a, a pretzel. But the people that are working there, they have to stay there too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
So how many employees are going to be working? How many shops are going to be open? Are there going to be enough shops open for 82 days worth of my taste buds wanting to have something good? I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. These are questions that the NBA players
Probably
have.
why I saw TNT came out and said that their announcers are going to be calling their games from their studios in Atlanta. Like they won't be going to Orlando.
Everybody is, though. I believe there are no commentators. I think they're trying to limit as many people in the arena at the same time as possible. And the commentators will be satellite commentating. Do I love that or hate that?
You've been a part of that,
You've kind of done it.
and you hated it.
When did I do that?
Well, you were in the stadium.
Oh, but we couldn't watch the. Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah, no telestrator, no rewinds, no watching of the camera, none of that. Right? That's called a REMI operation. For those that don't know the ins and outs of sports media, when it's a REMI operation, everything that you're doing at the stadium is shot to Bristol, Connecticut, where ESPN is, and then that feed is sent back to your booth. So any replay that you see is roughly 4 to 7 seconds behind because that son of a bitch replay just traveled across the country to Bristol and then came all the way back. Amazing that we've figured out how to do that. Yeah. I guess it's great for operating costs and things of that nature. But when you're the commentator and you can't even look at a replay because if you talk about what's on the screen, you're 5-7 seconds behind, which in nowadays might as well be 2 years behind. It does cause quite a conundrum.
After you explain it, though, that is a lot different than what they're doing because they don't have to do the relay back.
Yeah, well, they're just sitting at home, right?
Yeah.
They're just sitting at home.
They're going to figure out how to see the replay and stuff, I assume, and do telestration.
Oh, they're just going to be watching their television talking, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what
It's
it is.
watch along. It's gonna be watch along.
But if they have all those cameras, which I'm assuming that thing is going to be outfitted soup to nuts.
Oh, yeah.
I believe there's going to be cameras. Do the commentators then just have every camera angle?
Probably.
In their setup?
It'll probably be like a control room you see.
Are we still as confident that this is going to happen now with the fact that there's a 35 to 40-day mandatory sentence, at least, for anybody that goes down there? I mean, that is a rather long time. Now, get to play sports. You know you're going to be a part of content that everybody on earth is going to be watching. Yeah. You know you're going to be helping a lot of people. You know that you're doing what you're paid to do. Like there's a lot of obviously on the other side of the conversation. I just played basketball at Disney World. I understand that. But then once you start thinking about the humans in there, it's like, would you just want to go for 82 days? Is that worth winning the COVID championship?
Ooh.
In my eyes, potentially. But you can see how some guys are like, not for me, dog. Not for me.
Do you think the NBA is a sport that should be pumping in crowd noise, or will we benefit from listening?
Listen, I said this the first weekend I saw Bundesliga doing it, and I caught a little bit of heat from some people. I would like to talk to those people that sent me a little heat now to see how they feel about it. The fake crowd noise is, and this is going to sound bad, I don't even notice.
At all.
I don't even notice, especially if they have a crowd noise expert there who's controlling the booing and the happiness and the and the 9 they're doing it in the Bundesliga. You have to have one particular person who has a little bit of self-awareness, which is hard to find in the media world, I would assume. You have to have somebody who has a little bit of awareness of what's going on and things of that nature. Oh geez, got to stop saying that, but you're right. I think it does make the experience better, and if the NBA is putting in 2K sounds, I'm pumped. They just have to have somebody who knows the 2K sounds inside and out, knows the game, know who should be booed and who shouldn't be booed. Because we can't just have cheers, by the way. There has to be boos if we want to make this a fair viewing experience. What's up, Z?
You know what I'm going to miss, though, is when a ref blows a call and there's like that random FU chant.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey,
you never know.
Maybe sneak one into that might be like a little, let's feed in a little FU here. Okay, and stop back to the booing. There's there's a DJ in there, I think, that has to be, give me the squeak noise. All right, let's do a crowd cheer. Let's do a boo. That's what the person has to do.